Oh my goodness. That's how we're going to start today. We're going to start today with an oh my goodness. There's already been things. There have already been things that have happened this morning that have never happened before. In the history of Rise and Grind, there are already things that have never happened before, which tells me today's going to be over the top, incredibly powerful, super impactful, and I hope you're ready. I know I'm ready. Get on in here for hashtag Rise and Grind. Let's do this.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? You see, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts. Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to seven, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday. That's right. Today is Friday, December 18th, 2020. And what's crazy is Glenn will be 43 years old on Sunday. That's crazy. But what's also crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it will ever be Friday, December 18th, 2020. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most of this absolutely incredible, incredible day. There's two things I can tell you right out the gate this morning. First thing that I can tell you is the guest that's on today's show is so incredibly impactful. He's already made an impact in my life, and we just got rolling a few minutes ago. So I'm super excited to bring him to you today. Second thing that I'm going to tell you is I can already tell that I said tail like I was straight from Kentucky. I can already tell that Facebook is messing with us a little bit this morning. So do me a favor. If you are a regular or there are people that you normally see on the feed and you don't see them right now, tag a friend. I'm going to need you to go ahead and reach out, tag a friend. For some reason, they didn't get the notification or they can't find the show or whatever. Y'all know how it goes, right? Y'all know how it goes. So tag a friend, hit the share, whatever you got to do. Let's get everybody up in here. Listen, I'm coming to you live from Tampa, Florida. That's right. I'm down here in Tampa doing some work with the Furman Auto Group. Super excited. Love this group of dealers. I'll be with them all day later today. I hope that this week, so I'm in Tampa today, but all week we've been traveling around and learning more about Tibetan culture here on hashtag Rise and Grind. It's been super exciting. Yesterday we had my man Marcus Stone. We had him come in and cover while I was on a plane on my way down here to Tampa. So I appreciate you, Marcus, for bringing it. But we've been studying Tibetan culture. And along the way, during these studies, I don't know about you, but my eyes have been opened to some things that I did not know or did not appreciate going into this series. The guy that we got coming on today, he experienced some eye opening stuff himself. You see, my man Johnny Wimbrey, that's going to be coming on here in just a second. The from the streets, from straight up on the streets, from homeless, all of those things, right? To now, you see him out here popping around, hanging out with guys like Steve Harvey, right? He's hanging out with Steve Harvey in his new book that he's got coming out. He's got TD Jakes on the wrote a little thing for him, Les Brown, and many more. I'm going to tell you all about his book. We're going to talk all about his journey. We're going to learn everything that we can from my man Johnny with the time that we have. But before we do, y'all know what we got to do. We got to dance on this show, man. We got to dance. We got to do a little bit different because we're on StreamYard than we normally would. But I think we can make that work. There it is right there. Listen, for those of you that know, and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. All right. It's also the part of the show where we get that body moving, we get the blood flow. You feel that? You feel that? That's what I'm talking about. Hit it. Yes, sir. This is also a part of the show where I say good morning to you. You say good morning to me, whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay. Maybe you're listening to the podcast. Maybe you're watching on YouTube, wherever you're at. Make sure you connect. Make sure you connect because I want to connect with you. Right, Melvin Rodriguez? What's up, Don Sankey? Jess Gentry's up in here. Eddie Brown, Rick Tamburino. What's up, Pam Woosley? Janelle Griego, Mike Stevens, Young Darius Johnson, Kristen Hawk Tibbs is up in here this morning. What's up, Carrie Lynn Carter, Kim Fair, Michael Higdon, Martin Haggard, Kim Wilson, John Coltonborn, Miss Liza Myers Borges is up in the house. What's up, John Paul Guidry? We got Nathaniel Banks is in the house. How you doing, Sean Jones, Marilyn Wilkin? Everybody's up in here on hashtag Rise and Grind, including my man Johnny. So we're going to get Johnny up in here super, super fast. We're going to cut our dancing a little bit short because this dude is bad to the bone. That's all I'm saying. Bring it. Let's go.
I actually have someone who I want you to meet today.
Okay.
He's a friend of mine. His name is
Johnny Wimbrey, best-selling author,
motivational speaker. He's author of the book
From the Hood to Doing Good.
And I thought that he would be someone that you need to meet. Johnny, would you please come out?
Welcome to the Johnny Wimbrey Show. We're talking about overcoming adversity, pushing yourself to the other side. Helping Jeff in his fight, life coach Johnny Wimbrey.
You have to be confident and not arrogant. Who would ever think that someone with my past, I made a lot of bad decisions, but my past has nothing to do with my future. Where I come from doesn't have to dictate where I'm going.
You know, think about people who made history in our world. You know, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, Gandhi. No experience. They led with passion.
If there's one successful person on the planet, just one, then all I said was me too. I like to represent things that are bigger than all of us. It's something that's going to outlive us. I believe that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
In just a few minutes, one of them is going to walk out of here with $25,000 to grow their business thanks to Johnny.
And this is an opportunity just to show that we care. I'm an investor in an incredible respect for money because I know what it's like not to have any. First memory in life was living in a battered women's shelter because of what I went through in my life. How much longer do you want to have this problem? You're ignoring something. My father is an alcoholic. Think about that word deception. I mean, would deception be deception if it were obvious? You'd be the last person to know.
Police investigating the death of Michael Jackson believe that doctors may have written him prescriptions in exchange for money.
There are people who are dead today that would not have been dead if there were doctors who were using their authority the right way. You can't follow a parked car. We follow people and we are mentored by people who look good, they sound good, they're packaged right. But you haven't even checked the hood to see if there's an engine in the car. A dog doesn't even bark at a parked car. Why would you follow one? You understand that? Is it connecting? Yes. You can't get something different without doing something different.
What's the key to his sobriety? Wanting it. Believing that it's possible.
You got access to me now.
Okay.
Look at me, you got access. Use it.
Thank you, Johnny. Come back, please.
Johnny's book, From the Hood to Doing Good, is available now, and everyone in the audience is going home with the copy.
Thank you, Johnny. That was wonderful. Thank you.
You're incredibly
I appreciate
welcome.
you coming.
Johnny, welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind, my
What's
man.
up? We are rising and grinding. Glenn Lundy, man, I appreciate you having me, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you being here. I know that you are over there in Texas, man. It's like
Sir.
4:40 in the morning. I appreciate you hopping early. And you did something, Johnny. You did something that no one's ever done before, man. It was 4 a.m. your time. You and I hooked up on StreamYard, and you had the music blasting in the background. You
I
was
need it.
already getting moving. I was
Need
like,
it.
uh-oh.
Everything gonna be all right. Uh.
Oh my
I put on this shirt just to wake me up.
Dude, the shirt is beautiful. It's crispy. It's vibrant. It's loud.
Thank you.
Welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. Listen, if you weren't here on a show live with me at 4:40 in the morning, right? What does a morning normally look like for Johnny? Now, what time you wake up, I don't know. That part I'm not interested in. But your routine, what I've found is most successful people have a powerful morning routine. So what's a normal morning look like if I don't have a camera in front of your face first thing in the morning?
You know, right now I'm 45 years old. I'm a father of 3. I'm the morning dad. I've always been the morning dad. You know, took my daughters to school until they could drive, and now I take my son to school, who's 9 years old. So I'm the guy wakes up early in the morning, gets my son going. My wife does the, gets him up and going, and I take him to school, and then I hit the gym.
Straight to the gym.
That's a normal day.
That's a normal day. So do you take any time for self before you dive into the cam, or you just straight in?
Well, no, I mean, for me, I'm a spiritual guy. I'm gonna be in the bed, holding my wife, thanking God for another day. But my morning meditation is typically when I'm in action. If I'm running, doing cardio, things like that, I'm listening to stuff. I've got to move. This is just my personality type. I got to be moving while I'm learning.
So Johnny's got a bunch of motivational videos out there, a lot of incredible things going on. So just curious, when you're at the gym and you're working out and you're listening to motivational stuff, do you listen to yourself, man, or what?
If I really, really, really want to kick my own butt, I do listen to myself. And my voice has more accountability in my life than any other voice that's out there, because when you're the guy that people pull on, you've got to be the message that you bring. And, my message reminds me, you got to get back in line, Johnny. You're the messenger.
Dude, I love that, and I was hoping to tap into that. I watch some of my own messages back at times, especially when I need a real kick in the butt. And I don't want anybody that's with us this morning to miss this. What Johnny is saying is, your voice is so influential in your life. The words that you say to yourself, and you really have to hold yourself accountable to the words that are coming out of your mouth. And sometimes you got to kick your own butt, right?
It's 100% true, man. I mean, you've got to learn how to talk to you. And when I'm on stage, a lot of times I have people repeat what I say. One of the things that I start out my seminars with is, I say increase. And the reason I want my audience to say increase is because if I can get you to make a declaration that there's something out there in life more of that you haven't achieved yet, you automatically subscribe to the possibilities that increase is possible for you. So it's your voice that's stronger than my voice, and that's why I get people to repeat what I say.
I love it, man. I love it. So this morning, as of right now, there are 86 crazy humans that are live with us, 5:30 Eastern. There are tens of thousands that will watch throughout the day. So right now, we're gonna do that right now, Johnny. What is the word you want them to say this morning, going into today's interview? What's their word? We'll have them drop it down there in the comments. We'll get some engagement. They can hit some likes, some hearts, all that, right? We're going to get all that right there, right now.
Absolutely.
Let's give them one word.
One word. My book that's out right now, #1 bestseller on Amazon, Building a Millionaire Mindset, matches with my shirt. One word, and I'm going to take it straight from the book. If you go back about 10 years ago, before Me Too was a big movement, I would always tell people to say Me Too, hashtag Me Too. And here's why. Somebody is going to win big today. Say Me Too. Somebody's going to hit the ball out of the ballpark today. Say Me Too. Somebody's going to tap into another level of success in their life today. Say Me Too. Subscribe to that. Join that list. The only thing that's different between the people that will have a winning day today are those individuals who subscribe to the possibility that it would happen for them today. So in anything that's happening, if you see something that you drive by, you see a car, you see something that empowers you, that impresses you, that inspires you, just simply say, me too. If God can do it for them, he could do it for me too. This is a Me Too day. If somebody's going to win, and they are, a female, a male, a big person, a small person, people from every walk of life today on their continent, in their country, in their city, they're going to win big today. So it might as well be you. Say me too.
Me too. I love it. I love it. Drop it in the comment. Look, they're all dropping it. I see it. Vicky Everett says me too. Linda LeBons, Alita Patrick, Vanessa Wallace, Marilyn Wilkins, Janelle Scott. They're all saying me too.
Get it.
Me too. Me too. I love it, dude. You are motivational. You are inspirational. You are sharing stages. I saw you speaking in the AT&T, Dallas Stadium. 15,000, 30,000, however many people. You're doing all these amazing things. We got to hit the brakes real quick. Let's back up.
Yes,
Take
sir.
us back. Who is Little Johnny?
Little Johnny's the giant. It's the big Johnny you got to worry about, but Little Johnny is invincible. Little Johnny is that kid that would knock on every door in the neighborhood and say, "Hey, can I mow your yard?" And if you said no to me, I would come back the next day because I didn't know that your no meant, no. I just thought it meant no, not today. So I would come back the next day, same person knocking on your door. "Hey, can I mow your yard today?" So that Little Johnny was invincible. But, it all comes from the fact, my earliest memory in life was living in a battered women's shelter. I was homeless. The government sent us from Fort Worth, Texas to San Jose, California with my mother and my two older brothers for protection. Failed the second grade. I was raised around gangs and violence and drugs my entire life. I would ultimately move back after the second grade with my father and meet my father pretty much for the first time to get to know him. And, he actually raised me and raised my brothers. And there's one thing about my father is, what I would love to tell everybody is, bad husband doesn't mean bad father. And my father was an amazing father. Very hard. If you want to imagine my father, imagine the character Samuel L. Jackson in the movie Pulp Fiction. And that's without exaggeration. Like that
Right.
is my dad. I've seen my dad have conversations with a gun in his hand, and it was just normal. It was normal. I've seen my dad pull the repo man out of the window of the car, trying to take the car and slam him to the ground. It's just how I was raised and what I was raised around. So that Johnny as a kid, and here's what's funny. What's really funny, Glenn? And I talk about this in my book. I don't remember ever entertaining not being successful. Like I knew, I just knew in my heart that being successful was not an option for me. I had to be successful. And what's crazy is, I lived in the hood, and my homeboys lived in the hood, same neighborhood as me. And I remember they would come to my house, and I wouldn't let them in the house. I'd say, I'll come out in a minute, because I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed of our lifestyle, how we lived. And here's what's crazy. They lived the same lifestyle.
Right.
What was in me that made me know that there was so much more available to me that it just made me uncomfortable to live this life, and not live the life in a way where I look down on people or look down on myself, just to know that it was possible. My father was a trash man, and it's his fault. He would take us to the good side of town, and we're looking at, to me, what were mansions. If you had a 2-story home, in my mind, that was a mansion. So we saw all these big houses with Christmas lights, and he would drive us around to see where he would throw trash and pick up trash. And that opened up my mind. As a kid, I'm saying, somebody lives in those houses and they're not better than me. Somebody lives in these houses, they're driving these cars, and they're not better than me. And if they can do it somehow, some way, me too.
Johnny, so much there, so rich, right? So rich. I love how you started it by saying a bad husband doesn't make a bad father. I love that. I think
None.
that's a
Yeah.
message that many people need to hear. But man, him driving you through those neighborhoods, just opening your eyes to the possibilities, right? I think that is such a gift and a lesson to all of us as parents. It's important that we do expose our children to things outside, right? Like I live in Kentucky, bro. I live in Kentucky. Some
Yeah.
of these people in Kentucky, and I love them. They're the nicest, kindest, warmest humans
Yeah.
in the world. But some of them have never gone anywhere outside of like a 4 mile radius,
Yeah.
bro. Like they
You
don't
know what's
even know.
crazy is, I lived in Hollywood for a little bit, and I would meet people when I would go speak in the hood, like South Central or Watts or whatever. And, I would meet people who've never been to the beach.
Wow.
Now you're talking about
Right. In Hollywood.
15-minute, or I mean, maybe a 45-minute drive because of traffic, but about 20 miles. Never been to the beach. Life is about exposure. If you don't see it, you won't fight to get it. You won't fight to obtain it. And, this is why in my book, Building a Millionaire Mindset, it's the mindset that's the most important. One of the easiest things that I've ever done in my life was make $1 million in 1 year. And I'm not exaggerating. It wasn't hard to do that, but it was hard for me to believe that it was possible. The hardest thing was believing. And I go through an in-depth process of waking up a giant that's inside you in this book, which happens to be hit #1 on Amazon. So I'm super excited about that. But, Emmett Smith.
And you should be.
Yeah,
You
thank
should
you,
be
man.
It's well deserved.
Doing an endorsement. Bishop Jakes, Jan Miller wrote an endorsement on the back of the cover. Jan Miller's the literary agent for Tony Robbins and Dr.
Yeah,
Phil.
Bishop Miller, right?
Yeah, Dupree Miller, one of the biggest agent in the world on books.
Right.
But
Right.
it's not about making $1 million. It's the mindset. See, once you have the mindset, once something is inside you, it automatically has no choice but to manifest in your life, because it is what you eat, sleep, and breathe. My favorite book says that a good man will leave an inheritance for his children's children. And once I really started focusing on my kids before I had kids. You have 7 kids, you have 1 on the way. I told you my wife shut me down. I would have had 20 kids if she would have allowed me to. But
that's why she shut you down. She's like, Johnny crazy. Yeah, that ain't happening.
What's crazy? I have always visualized my children before they existed. Even when I was in the streets, even when I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing, I was doing it in my mind headed towards my future. It was a temporary situation, but I didn't know. I guess I did know, because every day of my life was a risk, but I didn't understand that a part of the process that I went through in life, a lot of the things are things that I self subscribe to. So I don't find myself in the mindset of a victim a lot. I'm more the victor. I got a brother serving 40 years in prison right now, and the only difference is I didn't get caught. So I'm not better than my brother. I'm not better than anybody. I'm just that message of hope that says, listen, where I come from doesn't have to dictate where I'm going. My past doesn't have to determine my future. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm talking to you face to face right now. Well, he's a multimillionaire. He's the #1 best-selling author. He's a celebrity life coach. Listen, I'm you. I'm you. You just got to figure out what's in you that separates you from the world. There's something about you, your thumbprint, your DNA. There's only one person on the planet that can leave on this planet what you were designed to leave. And once I started thinking like that, I never put anybody above me. Now, I'm very confident about who I am, and I talk about this in my book in a lot of detail. My confidence in who I am may intimidate some people, because people who don't understand the difference between arrogance and confidence will always be intimidated by confident people. I'm confident. I'm not arrogant. Confidence is understanding who you are. Arrogance is when you think you're better than someone else. Confidence is when you understand nobody was designed to be better than you.
I love that. Big difference between confidence and arrogance. You gotta have some confidence. You have to have some swagger. You got to be able to walk into a room or onto a stage or into an environment and know that you add value to
Yeah.
that particular situation, right? Like no matter what room you're in, you add value. Otherwise, you become meek, you become weak, you drop you shrug your shoulders, you reduce your voice, you dim your light.
Yeah.
You dim your light. And
It's
what
so good.
Johnny's telling you is, man, we all of us, every single one of us are made by the creator, right? The God of the universe. And he's given us this gift and this light to be able to make an impact in other people's lives. So when you
Right.
shy away from that, if you shy away from that, you can't shine. You have
Right.
to step into it,
Yeah.
folks. You got to step into it.
And,
And
and, and
Johnny and
here's the
I,
deal. What motivates me is if I don't step into it, somebody else will.
no doubt.
So you talk about being motivated by fear. Fear motivates me. And I talk about that in the book on a whole nother level. So people don't run from fear, they run towards it. I am motivated by the fact that if somebody doesn't have a #1 best-selling book today, if I don't do it, somebody else is going to do it.
Right.
If, and that just motivates me. If I don't kick down a wall today to enter a new level of life, a level of increase, somebody else is going to do it. So if somebody's going to have increase today, it might as well be me. I'm a might as well be me type person, not better than anybody else, but you're dang sure not better than me.
I love it. And the motivating, so you and I are so much alike, and at the same time on the opposite side, so you're really motivated by the if I don't, someone else will. I'm really motivated by the fact that there's no shortage of success out there. It's everywhere. If they can do it, I can too. And so can Johnny. And so can Jeremy Nolan, who's watching right now. And so can Mary Lynn. And so can John Paul Guidry, right? Like that's what gets me going is I'm like, okay, just because homeboy got it doesn't mean I can't. That actually means I can.
Right.
That means I can. I love it. Listen, man, in your book, all right, Building Millionaire Mindset. I'm excited about your book. I know you're excited about your book. You went from homeless to writing a book called Building a Millionaire Mindset. That's a big leap, bro. Lots of time in there. I get that, right? Around people like TDJ and you got Emmett Smith in the book, right? You got Tim Story right there. I saw it right there in the thing, Tim Story, right? And Tim Story, I've been on stage a couple times with Tim. I love Tim. He is good people.
He's a spiritual life coach to Oprah Winfrey.
I know, man. Like what else do you have to put on your resume, right? You're just like, I'm
Done.
Oprah's coach.
Done.
That's it. Done. Right. All right. So what is it like? What is this millionaire mindset? Like, what's it like in Johnny's head these days? Now that you're walking out onto these big stages, you're hanging out with some big names, you're writing a book called Building a Millionaire Mindset. Like, what goes on in your head on the daily that may be different, or maybe that we can learn from based than what used to maybe go on in your head when you were, when you were still living in the hood?
When I wrote this book, I thought to myself, somebody's going to write the next Think and Grow Rich. Somebody's going to have that new voice for the new generation of a book that changed a century of individuals' lives around the world. And Think and Grow Rich was that book, for, the 19th, even in the 20th century. And it's a book that everybody, I don't care if you talk to Tony Robbins or, Grant Cardone, anybody who's out there, Susie Orman, they all reference Think and Grow Rich. So I wrote the book in the mindset that this generation is going to have a book that they can reference of how they got the mindset to live the life that they want to live and the life that they're living now. That's how I wrote the book. I wrote the book as if I were talking to my children who were future millionaires. I wrote the book as if it was the last thing I was going to say. Just in case. I wanted to write a book for my children. We talk about, everybody wants to be a millionaire. The biggest fear of most first generation millionaires is the fear of passing the wealth to your children who don't have the mindset. So I wrote the book for current millionaires that are going to be passing the baton to second generation millionaires.
Got
But I
it.
also wrote the book for individuals who are fighting to be that first generation millionaire, because the subtitle of the book, it says how to use the pillars of entrepreneurship to gain, maintain, and sustain long-lasting wealth. So it's how you, it's not just gaining it. Remember, making $1 million in 1 year was one of the easiest things I've ever done as an entrepreneur. Believing that I could do it was the hardest thing. So gaining it is one thing. Maintaining it is another thing, but sustaining it? My favorite book says a good man will leave an inheritance for his children's children. Sustaining generational wealth, that is something that most millionaires have not learned how to do. Most millionaires will die and their children will not be millionaires. This book, it would be virtually impossible for you to dive into this book and not maintain millionaire status. Because the mindset, when you have the mindset, and I'm not saying you won't lose it, I'm just saying you'll have the ability to get it again and get it again and again and again. This book is not about making $1 million. It's about the mindset that it takes to make it.
So what are one or two tricks straight from the book this morning? We whet our appetite. Actually, Johnny's going to give us one or two tricks straight from the book here in just a second. But I got to do something real quick, Johnny. Got to do something real quick. Hey guys, it's 6 o'clock. Obviously, morning routines are so important to me, and I understand that you might be in the middle of yours right now. You might be out there running in the street, right? Maybe you're running, maybe you're hop, skipping, and jumping, maybe whatever it is that you're doing. I want to honor that. So listen, if you have to go, I get it. I totally get it. I love you. No hard feelings. Make sure you go to GlennLundy.com. Make sure you blow Johnny up. Johnny Wimbrey, follow him on Insta. He's most active, he said, all over on Insta. You can follow him on Facebook too. Blow him up. Send him encouraging messages. Let him know that you appreciate him being on the show. And make sure you hit the share button if you're leaving on your way out, because there's no better way that we can honor somebody who's getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to drop wisdom on us than to share them out as far and wide as humanly possible. Now, for those of you that are smart, just kidding. I know some of y'all got to go, but for those of you that are smart, did I say that twice? I said it twice. For those of you that are staying, that's what I meant to say. For those of you that are staying, Johnny's going to drop it on us right here, right now. He's going to give us one or two tidbits straight from the book, straight from the future, the next Think and Grow Rich that you can apply in your life to get that millionaire mindset. You ready? Johnny, all right, you back, my man?
Yes, sir. You know,
yes, sir.
There's 18 pillars in this book, 18 pillars of entrepreneurialism, 18 pillars to create the mindset of a millionaire. Every day, I have a new favorite pillar, especially when I was writing the book. When I was writing the book, I would fall in love with the information, and I'm like, this is my favorite chapter. And then I would find myself, rotating from chapter to chapter based on the mindset that I'm in. One of the chapters that really, really speak to me right now is when I talk about building a life where the future you in mind. Now, most people don't think like this, so I'm going to slow down just for a second.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you made a decision for the future you to say, good job? Think about it. Now, we can always think about things that we've done in life where I can say, Johnny, why did you do that? Like when you were 18 years old, what the hell were you thinking, man? Like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
But I can also think of times in my life where I can say, thank you. What if you had what if you had a conscious mind in the now? See, people think personal development is for the future. Personal development is for the now. But you have to read it for the future because the now is always going to be among you, right? So if I make a decision right now and I think to myself, if I do this, if I go out and run 3 miles today, that's doing something for the future Johnny to say thank you. That's a millionaire mindset. When's the last time you made a decision for the future you? The future you to be proud of you, to say thank you for making that decision. That chapter, and it's a whole process. Every single chapter, there's an exercise after the chapter. But that chapter for me right now, being 45 years old, to be in the conscious mindset of making decisions for the 50-year-old Johnny, the 55-year-old Johnny. It's just a different mindset. But that sticks out to me right now. There's another portion of the book that will break through for anybody. And the second thing is, and you really, really, really got to jump into this. It's a whole chapter about self-inventory. Self-inventory. Now, man, I used to hate inventory when I worked at a burger joint. I used to work at Wendy's. I worked at a Whataburger, which is a burger joint in Texas, and also worked at Brahms, another ice cream burger joint. I hated when they had inventory because there was 2 times a year where they had to count everything in the store. So we had to count ketchup packets and hamburger buns and yogurt. Like we had to, like heads of lettuce. I'm like, why do we have to count all this stuff? Why do we have to take an account for the things that are going bad? And I didn't understand it. Why? I wasn't the millionaire who owned the business. I was an employee. See, here's what I didn't understand when I was 16 years old. The reason that you have to take an account for the good things and the bad things is because that's how you can predict the future productivity of the company. I did that with myself. I took out the things. I took an account. Here's what I like about Johnny. Here's what I don't like about Johnny. Here are the things that Johnny does on a consistent basis that are extremely powerful. And here are the things that Johnny needs to become better at. When you do self-inventory, when you go inside yourself and you take an account of the things that you love about you, the things that you know for a fact that you could be better, it creates personal accountability. So self-inventory is kind of the building blocks of the mindset to create a millionaire, because you hold yourself accountable in the now, which 90% of the world, they don't do that. When you can learn how to do self-inventory in the now, it puts you on a masterful level of accomplishment when it comes to, just getting any goal, not setting a goal, but getting the goal.
Getting the goal. I love it, right? Self-inventory. What am I doing great? What could I be doing better? What has to change in order for me to reach my dreams, my visions, my goals? And then combining that with that other pillar that you touched on, right? Combining that with the pillar of the decisions I'm making today are ones that I want my future self to say, thank you that I made that decision, right? So I can see weaving those 2 pillars together, just those 2 alone. Weaving those 2, it's really what's the word I'm looking for? It's really an experience of self awareness that's far deeper than just listening to a video, reading a book. It's taking those things and applying them, actually taking action in a physical way. I love how you break that down. You make it easy to understand. You make it easy for people to see. That's beautiful. I'm going to ask you 2 more questions, and then I'm going to let you go because we're going to have to get out of here. Dude, I love that. I love the book. Go buy his book. Hey, in case you guys didn't notice, Johnny's he's proud. Can you see it? Can you guys see the passion and the pride he's got in this book? Like,
thank you. My baby, man. It is my baby.
That's how you know it's real and it's raw. Like, for real. I've read plenty of books. I've read ghost-written books. I've read books that people just do because they happen to be famous for something else. So then they write a book. Right. I've read those, but very, very rarely do you come across a book that's really written from the heart. And I can already tell that Johnny put his heart, his blood, his sweat, and his tears into this book. I can tell. Yeah, I can tell. It's written all over your face. So 2 questions for you. First one. Does Hood Johnny still exist?
That's funny. My first book, From the Hood to Doing Good, and Hood stands for Hazardous Obstacles of Destruction. I mean, how can something not exist that's a part of who you are? I can have my homeboys at the house right now that I went to high school with. They don't treat me any different. Right. When I say they don't treat me any different, there's no filter. There's no safety net for me. Like, I bring the noise and they bring it too. So, is the Hood Johnny still there? I mean, how the 10-year-old Johnny is still here. How do you detach? it's who I am. It's what made me who I am. Now, you know, I mean, don't get it twisted. I'm not the guy that you want to challenge, you know, just to see if I still got it. But I make decisions based on my future now. Like when I used to act like I had nothing to lose. You know why I did? Because I had nothing to lose.
Right.
When you have something to lose, it's a different you now.
Mm-hmm.
The decision that I make today can be consequences for my business. It can be consequences for my future, for my children. So yeah, I mean, my favorite book, the Bible says, when I was a child, I thought like a child. I acted like a child. I reasoned like a child. But now that I'm an adult, I put childish things away.
Right.
Paul wrote that. Now,
Love that.
Here's something that Bishop Jakes pointed out to me that I never noticed. He said, and I'll talk about this in the book too. He said, I put it away. That meant something. It didn't mean it was erased. It didn't mean it was destroyed. It didn't mean we threw it in the fire. It just says I put it away. So the old Johnny, he's put away, but I know how to access him if I need to. Like, don't get it twisted. Don't ever think that because somebody came from a certain area and they're not walking in that life anymore, that you can talk to them, you know, like that's not still in them. It's still in them. It's put away. It's on the shelf, but don't ever think I don't know where it is. I know how to get it. I mean,
that's right.
I'm Lawrence's Wimbrey's son. I know how to get it if I need to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Give me
I
hype
love
up
that,
at 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm hyped.
so much truth to that. But no, man, the reason I really asked that is I get people. I get people that message me that they're trying to transform, they're trying to become new, and they feel like they have to completely wash away who they were. And I'm like, no,
bring that.
No. That's
Listen,
right. You bring that.
The number one reason that people aren't successful in life, and again, I talk about this in the book. There's a study that was done for elderly people on their deathbed. And elderly people on their deathbed, which means they're not going home. They have no expectation of going home. So they have no reason to not tell the truth. The number one regret for elderly people on their deathbed is, I wish I would have taken more risk. I wish I would have taken more risk. That's the number one regret for elderly people who are dying on their deathbed. I wish I would have taken more risk. I wish I wouldn't have cared what other people thought about me. And I wish I would have what does that mean? Not taking risk becomes a lifestyle. Taking a risk is only a moment. My entire life was a risk. When I walked out of my house, every day I could have been killed. I could have been arrested. I could have been jumped. I could have been robbed. Every day. Every day of my teenage life was a risk. So taking a risk as a business person is not hard for me because of who I am in the past. If I forgot who that Johnny was, I wouldn't be successful today. I'm successful today because the old Johnny wasn't afraid to take risks. I brought that Johnny into my new world. Listen, I wasn't a chump in the streets. I wasn't weak. Why would I be weak as a businessman?
True that.
Like, why wouldn't I bring that characteristic to the business world?
Right.
Bring it.
Bring it, folks. It all has a place. It all has value. You just start stacking. You just start stacking, right? Stack it. All right, Johnny. Last question, because you and I could sit here and talk
all day.
All day, no doubt. And we got all these folks over here. They're like blowing up, right? Terrell Lake wants to know if you're on Audible. Is the book on Audible?
It's not on Audible yet, but you can get it on Kindle, and you can actually download an app that will read the book for you. I've done that actually. When I'm working out, I'm listening to my own book. So it's not on Audible, but you can download it on Kindle, on Amazon, and then get an app that will read it for you. Okay. So it won't be my voice, but an app can read it. I use it all the time. I use it for other books all the time.
That was my man, Terrell Lake. That was my man, Terrell Lake, that asked that question. Oh, no, look at that. And Terrell, here's check this out, Johnny. So I created the Rise and Grind Planner a couple years ago, 2018. This is the 2020. We got the 2021 ones on the way. Jeez, but what we did something that we did is on the top of every page in the planner, right? It's a place to write your gratitude, your goals, all that. And at the top of every page, there's a quote that's submitted by one of the members of the group. So the Rise and Grind members, they all submit and they get to be, so they're all published authors.
I love it.
Quote, right? They're all published
Brilliant.
authors. And so Terrell, who was just asking about your book, his quote, it's funny. That's actually his quote is in here today. I saw it this morning when I was doing my gratitude. It says, "A life without laughter is not worth living." That was my man's quote this morning. He is a clown. He's always up here clowning in the group. So just wanted to highlight that. All right. One last question, because you know I could hang out forever and I can't wait to get to know you better over time. Look, I'm in a hotel room. I'm moving stuff around, lights and all this other stuff.
You good, baby.
All right. So, Johnny, you're up on top of a mountain, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're on top of the mountain, and all of civilization, literally everybody, is at the base of the mountain. They're looking up at you. They're going, "Johnny, Johnny, 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 Johnny." They're cheering for you, right? And homeboy walks over. He hands you a microphone. He says, "You have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to drop something on them, practical application wisdom that they can apply in their life today, this week, this month, this year." What are you going to tell them?
You know, my message would be, listen, you were born to win. And there is no question. You can't argue it. And I could back it up with science. I could back it up with biblical scripture. I could back it up, you know, just with evidence. You were born to win because the first race in life, you won it. You know, hundreds of millions of sperm cells in a race, but little bitty old you made it to the other side. And this is how Johnny talks to Johnny. Johnny talks to Johnny like this because this is what Johnny needs to remember. Before I knew my name, I was already a winner. Before I knew whether I was a male or a female, I was already a winner. I won. And not only did I win my first race in life, science proves it. Hundreds of millions of sperm cells wanted my job. They wanted my job just like they wanted your job. But something inside you made it to the other side. If it wasn't a race, you know, I think to myself, why did God put us in a race before we even knew who we were? Could it be that he would know that science would figure out one day that there were hundreds of millions of people or hundreds of millions of sperm cells that wanted your job? You will never see those odds again. Before you knew your name, you beat the biggest odds on the planet. You beat 100 million sperm cells that wanted your job. Not only did you beat them, it was totally annihilation. It was the ultimate victory, because once you passed that finish line, everybody else who wanted your job died. So before you knew your name, you won the biggest race in life. That giant still lives in you. You are born to win, and you can't deny it. Stop consulting your past to determine your future. If you want to consult your past, consult the fact that you won your first race in life. You were born a winner, and you're still a winner today. Get back in the race, get back in action, and I'll see you at the top of this mountain that I'm talking to you from.
I don't have a mic over here, but I got a bottle of water.
You pour it out for the homies.
I'm just going to drop it like that. Look, broke the light and everything, dude. Mic drop. That's what I'm there it is. Drop the mic. That was beautiful. Johnny, my man, you, sir, clearly you are a child of God, the God of the universe. God that made everything, made you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And you're stepping into that, Johnny. You're stepping into the best version. You're not settling for average or a little bit above average or a little bit below average, but being the absolute best version of you, ultimately for the right reason, which is so that you can make an impact in other people's lives. And that's why I love you, brother. I love you. Thank you so much for sharing this time in this space with us this morning. It's been really impactful, bro.
Thank you.
Really impactful.
Tell everybody get the book right now on Amazon. The reason I keep saying Amazon, because they're delivering the book overnight. They are getting the book to people overnight. Right now, they discounted my book $5. So right now, you can get the book for less than $20 on Amazon. For anybody who wants to be a book ambassador, all you got to do is order in bulk and resell the book for a profit. Right now on Amazon, you literally can order in bulk, less than $20 a book, and resell it for $25 or $30. That makes you a book ambassador. Create your book on readers clubs. And depending on how big the club is, I will come in and answer questions to your book club. So get the book, Amazon right now. There's a special. I don't know if it's going to last throughout the day, but right now they got it discounted down under $20. I can't even do bulk prices like that. So go to Amazon.
Go to Amazon. They can do it. Johnny, hang tight.
Yes, sir.
There you go. You guys, that was my man, Johnny Wimbrey. Dude, if you enjoyed that and haven't done so already, hit the share button. Are you kidding me? What are you thinking, dude? If you're not sharing this, what are you sharing? I want you to ask yourself that question. All right. Future self is looking back at your Facebook feed, going, okay, you were sharing the political stuff, you were sharing the bum fights, you were sharing the girls bouncing around wearing whatever, you were sharing that, but you weren't sharing stuff like this. Are you kidding me? Come on now. If you're not sharing this, I don't know what you're sharing. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I'm just trying to have you do like Johnny was saying and just reflect. Let's take some inventory this morning for real, because Johnny brought it today. Valuable stuff. Somebody in your circle needs it and you know it. So do me a favor, hit that share button. If you need more videos, go to glennlundy.com. That's right. If you need more videos like this, you can go to glennlundy.com. Show Johnny what a Rise and Grind crew is all about today. If you would, please follow him, message him, blow him up. I want him to call me later and say, Glenn, tell your people to leave me alone. I can't get anything done today. They are blowing me up, right? That's what I want him to say. That's how I'll know that we did what we're here to do, which is make an impact in other people's lives, including my man Johnny's. Hope you enjoyed the show today. Come back again Monday morning, 5:30 a.m., because you know we're going to do it all over again here on #Rise and Grind. Have a great day. See ya.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts.